Well, here's page 2. And now we're going to multiply a polynomial times a polynomial. I'm going to start with this little numerical example. We've got 2 terms in there, 3 terms in there, let's say, soon enough, with x's and stuff instead of just numbers. How much do we really have here? This is 8 and 2, that makes it 10. And 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So the answer should be 100. What we do with the distributive property in this setting is each thing in the first set of parentheses, however many there are, is used to multiply each thing in the second set of parentheses exactly once. So we're going to do 8 times 3 and 8 times 2 and 8 times 5, and then we're going to do 2 times 3 and 2 times 2 and 2 times 5. Many steps. So first, 8 times 3, that's 24. Then 8 times 2, that's 16. Then 8 times 5, that's 40. All done multiplying by the 8. Now I do 2 times everything in there. And I'm going to run out of room here in just a second. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 5, 10. Well, I've multiplied everything in here by everything in here exactly once. And if this was a bunch of different powers of x, I'd be finished. But since it's numbers, let's add these up, see what happens. 24 and 16 is 40. And 40 and 40 is 80. And 80 and 6 is 86. And 86 and 4 is 90. And 90 plus 10 is 100. And that's no surprise because we were multiplying 10 times 10. So, of course, we got the same answer. It's a different route. Well, now we're ready to tackle stuff like this. Everything in here gets multiplied by everything in here. And part of the job here is just being careful, patient, accurate, neat. All those sort of skills are important here. So x times 2x squared, that makes 2x to the third. And then x times minus 4x, that makes minus 4x to the second. And then then x times 7 makes plus 7x. So I'm done multiplying by the x. Now everything in here gets multiplied by the 3. And I can keep writing things out horizontally, or I can start arranging columns for like terms that pop out. Like this first multiplication I do with the 3, 3 times 2x squared, I get 6x squared. 6x squared. If I put it right underneath the other x squared terms, it makes it easier for finishing up later. And 3 times minus 4x, I get minus 12x. Let me put that underneath those x's. 3 times 7 plus 21. And then I can finish up by just adding the columns. I got 2x's to the third plus 2x squared minus 5x plus 21. There's my final answer for simplifying that. Okay, let's try this one. You might want to stop the video, try it, and then come back and compare. This times this, we get 10x to the fourth, and then 6x to the third, then minus 2x squared, and plus 4x at the end. We're done multiplying by the 2x. Now we'll multiply by the minus 3. Minus 3 times 5x cubed, that'll make minus 15x cubed, which I put in the column underneath the other x cubed. Minus 3 times plus 3x squared, I get minus 9x squared. And then minus 3 times minus x, I get plus 3x. And minus 3 times plus 2, I get a minus 6 way down here at the end. So many, many terms in my answer. 10x to the 4th, minus 9x to the 3rd, minus 11x squared, plus 7x, and minus 6. And that's the end of that one. Let's just keep going down. I think it's easier that way. So these two things, multiplying these three things. So 3x times 2x squared, we get 6x to the 3rd, and 3x times minus x, we get minus 3x squared. And 3x times 10, we get plus 30x. Now we're multiplying by the negative 7, or the minus 7. Minus 7 times 2x squared, we get minus 14x squared, and then plus 7x, and finally minus 70. And adding the columns, you get 6x cubed minus 17x squared plus 37x minus 70. Okay. And the last one in this column, x cubed times x squared, that's x to the 5th. X cubed times plus 5x, we get plus 5x to the 4th. And x cubed times the minus 4, minus 4x cubed. Use that up, move over here. 4x squared times x squared, we get 4x to the 4th. Putting that underneath the other x's to the 4th. 4x squared times 5x, you get 20, a plus 20x to the 3rd. And finally, 4x squared times minus 4, we get minus 16x squared. And now we're ready to add. We got 1x to the 5th plus 9x to the 4th plus 16x cubed minus 16x squared. Okay. And as I've said in the past, I am not perfect. If I get a wrong answer here and you spot it, let me know, but I'm trying to be pretty careful. Okay, these three things, all three things, going to multiply those two things, and I could reverse the order if I want, but I'm going to leave it written the way it is. So x squared times 3x, that will make 3x to the 3rd. And then x squared times 2 will make a 2x squared. Now I'm using 5x. 5x times 3x, I get 15x squared, and 5x times 2, I get plus 10x. Now 2 times everything here. 2 times 3x, I get plus 6x, and 2 times 2, I get 4. We'll see, I got the things in columns according to what power of x. 3x to the 3rd plus 17x squared plus 16x plus 4. Let's see what's happening here. X squared times x squared, x to the 4th. X squared times 6x, that's plus 6x to the 3rd. X squared times 3, that's 3x squared. Then minus 3x times x squared, that's minus 3x to the 3rd. Minus 3x times 6x, that's minus 18x squared. And minus 3x times 3, that's minus 9x. X to the 4th. 6 and minus 3, that makes 3x to the 3rd. 3 and negative 18, that makes minus 15x squared, and minus 9x. And by the way, I'll say this again, as I said in the past few days, notice as I'm adding these, the exponents stay the same. I don't add the exponents. You add the exponents when you have x to a power times x to a power. If you have x to the 4th times x to the 11th, that's where you add the exponents, right? Okay. Last annoying little exercise. A squared b times a squared. Well, that's a times b times a times a. The a is going to change. Add those exponents. You get a to the 4th b. Let me slow that down up here just for a moment. A squared b times a squared can be thought of, since it's all multiplication, can be thought of rearranged terms a squared times b. And the a squared times a squared, all by itself, you would add the exponents and get a to the 4th. And of course, you still have the b. So a squared b times a squared gave us that. Then a squared b times 5ab, put the 5 out in the front. A to the 1st times a squared makes that a to the 3rd. And the b times b makes a b squared. Now we do a squared b times 2ab cubed. Bring the 2 out in the front. The a squared times the a makes a to the 3rd. And the b times the b to the 3rd makes a b to the 4th. I can almost hear some of you saying a bad word in your head right now. That's understandable. I'm done with the a squared b. Now we go to the 3. 3 times everything here. 3 times a squared, that's just 3a squared. And there are no a squared terms, so I make a new column. Then 3 times 5ab, 15ab. Need a new column for that. And last, 3 times 2ab cubed, we get 6ab cubed. See, every one of these terms is different. A to the 4th b, there's no other a to the 4th b. A to the 3rd b squared, there's no other a to the 3rd b squared. There's no other a to the 3rd b to the 4th. There's no other plain a squared ab or ab cubed. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms in our answer. And that's the end of this week. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm not sure about when I'm going to get to put up the next quiz, but remember the next quiz is just find the equation of the line from 2 points. I'm going to put up a practice quiz, wait a day or two, and then put up the real quiz. Take care, stay healthy, stay safe.